show, and she's going to tell us a bit about herself. So let me not, introduce her, but allow her to introduce herself. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana, and tell us a bit about yourself. You are a woman of many hats, titles. Tell us whatever it is that you'd like us to know about you.
All right, thank you so much. And I first want to take this opportunity to say thank you for having me in this studio today.
Yeah.
My name's Margret, Kiilu. My husband's name is Kiilu. I like you said, I wear many hats. So let me just start with the first one. I am a born-again Christian.
Amen.
I love the Lord Jesus so much. I am also married to Bishop Kiilu.
Yes.
And I am also, so I am a wife. And I am also a mother of 3 children, wonderful children, and many other spiritual children, but biologically 3 children.
Yeah.
I am a sister. I am a friend. Professionally, I am a medical practitioner.
Yeah.
At the capacity of adult gerontology, primary care nurse practitioner.
For the purposes of those that may not know what that means, could you break it down shortly?
I am a practitioner. I practice medicine.
Yes.
And I don't deal with infants. I deal with those that are grown up.
Young adults upwards.
Young adults upwards.
All
no babies, no little babies.
Okay.
My specialty is for young adults and upwards.
Okay.
All the way to the last stage.
Welcome to the show. Honestly, it's such an honor to have you. And now, talking about biological children, it's not fair knowing that today is your daughter's birthday. Please just wish her a happy birthday, whether she watches now or later. At least I know that message is very important for her.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for that opportunity.
Yes.
And so today is our daughter's Faith. Her name is Faith Kiilu, Faith Mumo Macau, but she calls herself Faith Kiilu. Today is her 25th birthday.
Wow.
And I just want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. Mom and Dad may not be near you at this time, but definitely, we wish you a very, very happy birthday. We are so blessed to have you in our lives as our firstborn daughter.
Wow.
So happy birthday, Faith.
Awesome. And from me, your auntie, happy birthday. I do wish you a very happy birthday. Now let's talk about diaspora matters. Did you ever envision yourself living abroad at any one time in your life, especially as a young girl or as a Kenyan?
Just to be honest, Anne, I honestly never, it wasn't one of those things that was in my bucket list.
Yeah.
I just grew up like everybody else. I mean, any other young girl in Kenya. It didn't look like something that was for me.
Yeah.
It was for other people.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dream that I can say that I dreamt of
Ever.
going abroad.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay.
Especially when I was growing up.
Okay.
As I grew up and as I matured, I got to interact with people that had gone abroad. One of my elder brother had traveled and had gone abroad. And so once in a while, I can say maybe a thought crossed my mind.
Yes.
But it wasn't something that I really envisioned myself.
So maybe I phrase the question a little bit differently. At a personal level, you didn't see yourself, or it was not like that thing that, oh God, one day help me. But then now when you began dating your husband and you said, I do, you got married, in the formative years of your marriage, did that discussion come up somewhere? It
actually came up before we even got married, because coincidentally, he had an opportunity to go to a place called Seychelles.
Okay.
I didn't even know where that was.
Okay.
And we were still in courtship. So that discussion came up. We didn't pursue it. He actually chose not to pursue it because it was coming at that very time that we were going to, be married. We would have been very young in marriage.
Yeah.
So the discussion came, but then after that, we did not continue with that story.
All right.
Yeah, he forfeited going to Seychelles or Madagascar, one of
those
places that he was
places.
supposed to go.
But
yes.
thank God, because God has a lot of plans, man plans, but God causes those plans,
That's right.
you know, to come to fruition.
That's
now,
right.
let's talk about your journey to the United States, because after summarizing the journey of where you began and where you are today, a day came and all the documentation was done,
Yes.
and you found yourself on a plane heading to the United States of America.
Yes.
So once you landed there, could you tell us a bit about your experience as a young mother? Because at the time when you went there, I know you were a young mother.
Yes.
So what was your experience like?
It was interesting, and let me just piggyback a
Yes.
little bit
Sure, feel free.
before going there,
Yes.
because we, you know, just for the record, we actually went to US through the green card lottery visa.
Yeah.
So we applied, and we weren't serious as such. My husband actually found some people applying at his place of work. He just filled the
Randomly.
form. He came home. He got me to take some pictures, which I did not even know what really we were doing.
Yeah.
Finally, just to flash back then, you know, 1 year or about 1 year later, that's when we got the letter. And the letter came with that picture that I had taken, telling me, congratulations, you've been selected as a diversity visa applicant. The journey started there because, you know, filling in the paperwork, getting all the documentation, getting the blood work done, getting the vaccinations, going to the embassy. It was very, very tedious.
Wow.
And if I can say something, that at that particular time, I was actually, when we were doing all that, I was expectant with our last born.
Yeah.
And a few weeks before our interview to the embassy,
Yeah.
I delivered.
Wow.
So by the time we were going to the embassy, I was about 2 weeks into delivery, and it was through a C-section.
Wow.
So it was a journey that was very tedious, but we thank God that we had people, we had friends that on the other end in the US that were helping us to know what to do. And so it wasn't overwhelming. It was probably more overwhelming for my husband because he's the one that had to run up and down. But for me, emotionally, it was very overwhelming.
So when you went to the US embassy, you'd already gotten the baby, 2 weeks?
Yes.
So because I believe the child had to be physically at the embassy, it meant you carried a 2-week-old.
I did, and not only that, they required for you to have, of course, the birth certificate and the pictures, passport size pictures for everybody in the family, including the 2-year-old.
Just imagining.
So you can imagine, we went to one of the studios here in town, and I can still remember those people. They did a great job trying to tap the feet of my little baby, so
that the baby
he can
smiles.
open the eyes, because he had to have his eyes open.
Wow.
For the photo to be accepted. So it was interesting.
So it was, thank you for bringing that up, because it was not just about boarding a plane. There's so much more that goes on when someone wins that, yeah?
Yes.
And of course, as we talk about now, you've landed to the United States, and there you are, you're settling down, you have your host family. What was it like adjusting to a new culture? Would you remember the month that you landed in the US?
We landed in March. Actually, it was March 30th.
Was it cold, very cold?
It was cold. It was very cold.
Exactly.
The winter was just almost ending, but it was very cold.
So how was it adjusting to a new culture? You have left a country where you used to fend for yourself. You used to call the shots in terms of, this is how I'm going to run my house. And then you're at a point where you honestly need your host family to help you in every sense of the word.
It was an experience. First, I am grateful for our host.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And maybe later on I'll mention that, because your host family, I know definitely you have had many stories. Everybody comes with their own story. You've had a lot of stories about diaspora and all that. But one thing is certain, your host family and your host community determines a lot for your settlement and even the path that you're going to take in the U.S. So I'm so grateful for our host family. It wasn't a struggle. They was a couple with their 2 children. We all, stayed in a 3-bedroom house. We have come with 5 of us, me, my husband, and our 3 children. And they had 2 children. They were more grown than our children. But they helped us to adjust. It wasn't easy as a woman, you're used to having your kitchen, you're used to doing your own things, but they made it easy for us in that we didn't feel like we were interfering with their business. They didn't make us feel at any time like we were a burden. So for that, I am very grateful.
And again, I believe whenever you move to a foreign country and you're hosted, it's for a season. And one of the fine days you're going to move out and, be independent in your own house. So in the aspect of adjusting, they say in communication studies in culture shock, there's usually the honeymoon stage whereby everybody is welcoming you, receiving you, and all. Then you move to the point of adjustment where despite how well your host has received you, there is that aspect of, it's almost like when women go through, it's called postpartum depression.
Postpartum,
yes, you're happy you got the baby, but there's an aspect of, you almost feel, you cannot explain it, but it is there. Did you ever come across that? And it's human sometimes.
Oh, yes. Actually, the honeymoon stage is like it ends as soon as you land. As soon as you land. And then you're welcomed. They were very good, actually. They mobilized our host. They mobilized a group of other Kenyans. Because we were 5. And we had like 10 suitcases. So we needed like a whole, a whole convoy to just get us from the airport to the house. And of course we found they had waited for us. But the honeymoon stage ends right there. Because when you wake up in the morning, first of all, they have to go to work. So they do a very quick orientation for you. And they let you know, this is our phone number. If you need anything, just call us. And then, of course, after that, you have to think, I'm hosted. So I need to really do something.
Be part of this family.
Immediately, almost the first week, you've already started running. Now, remember, I have by then our baby last born was 3 months. But we had to figure out how to go about it. So the challenges that come, there were more from the outside. You get out, and the first greatest challenge is that you get out. We settled in Delaware. There's not much public transport in Delaware. So you want to move around. You have to kind of figure out how to do that.
You don't have your driving license.
You don't have your driving license. You don't even know. You are afraid to get out of the apartment because you might not even know which house your way back. And yet you have to do it. So it was an interesting. The culture shock is more outside once you get out of the house
than with your host family. Wow, interesting. And one of the things I say, and especially when I travel out there a bit, I always say one of the things people miss is mama mboga. You know the mama mboga in the estate? Those small things that make life interesting as a Kenyan. The guy that chomas mahindi by the roadside, those things are totally non-existent.
They are not. And not only that, other things like before we left, I mean, all the time when I had our children here, we had a house help. So you get there, you realize that's history. There is nothing like house help. You're on your own. So that's the first thing. And then you also get out and you go to the store or to the shop, and you thought you knew English, because I thought I was still speaking English even before I left here. And you are telling somebody that, whoever the cashier, that you need something, and they don't seem to understand what you're talking about. They keep asking you what?
So
and it is very, very frustrating. Because it looks like you're not speaking English. But really,
and that's the best
you are producing your best.
So in other words, people should stop blaming, because again, later we'll talk about perceptions. When people say, oh, you just go abroad, then you've come back after 4 years and you have this wing. I mean, there's a way that culture orients you to stop talking like you are talking back home, because you're more in the minority.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. It again, you know, that all depends. We all have like different languages.
Yeah.
You know, like how I can speak Kikuyu, I can speak Kikamba, I can speak. So English also has different, when I am talking to my patients, I don't usually talk the way I'm talking.
The way you are talking right now,
My children always make fun of that. I don't actually realize it, but there's a way automatically.
It's deeper.
It changes to fit and to suit my environment.
Okay, okay.
So, but then when I am talking to, you know, to my Kenyan friends,
yeah,
I don't have to.
You come back to the British English that you were trained in when, I mean, because we were colonized by the British.
Yes.
So most Kenyans actually speak British English.
That's true.
And that's why I think many times Americans may have a problem understanding what they are saying.
And the accent is there.
Okay.
We all do. They do.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Everybody has an accent.
Yes, everybody has an accent.
And now, before we go on break, you know, house girl, you're there in the house with your husband, and the kids are young, and clearly duties have to be shared.
Yes.
So how did you deal with that? Because many statistics indicate, even though that would be shortly after the break, indicate that many couples get to a point where they can no longer cope.
Yes.
Not because they don't love each other, but the household shows. The man was used to being served left, right, center in Africa.
Yes.
Then you come to the US and you realize that's almost non-existent. How did you deal with that?
We, one thing, and I'll say this, we knew what we were going into.
Yeah.
We had been prepared. We
Yeah.
did our research, we had been prepared.
Yeah.
And even though, you know, we were, still there was that culture shock. My husband, prior to going to the US, I don't remember him doing a lot of things in the kitchen.
Okay.
Partly because we had a house help.
Oh, yeah.
So really, not because probably he didn't want to, but he didn't have to.
Exactly.
Because we already had a house help. I was there, and really he did not really have to do it.
Yeah.
But we get there and we realize we have to help one another.
This is a different culture.
We have to help one another, and I'm so grateful for him, because a lot of people struggle with that area. That ego or whatever it is, it really messes very many families. But he was able to adjust. We had a small baby and two others who weren't either big. You know, our daughter was about, what, maybe 6, 7?
So she could only maybe not even do much,
Nothing,
play around.
Nothing. She wasn't used to doing much here, so we had kind of like to train. Our son, our middle son, he was 4. So we have a 3-month-old baby, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old. So he just cooking and doing all the other duties. They were like, when we moved from our host, we would actually switch shifts.
Working.
He's at home, I am at work. He's at work, I am at home. And then we look for a few days that maybe we are home together.
Wow.
So he had to really adjust, and I'm grateful for that, because he was able to do it, because I know many that have not been able to do it.
And I think he also had to adjust, because I mean, if today it's his duty to cook, and maybe, I'm just saying, and maybe he's not as an awesome cook, or the family is used to mom's cooking, then today it's dad's duty, even though some dads are better cooks than moms. So there was also an aspect of you adjusting, because the kids are young, and they adjust to the fact that, okay, the food today is being cooked by my hubby. Whichever way it comes, thank you, this is a very nice meal. So I think you as a lady,
I had to adjust, and just to say something, we never at one time did it like it's your duty and it's my duty.
Okay.
Somehow we just did what needed to be done.
Okay.
We just needed, you know, to do what was needed to be done. As far as I leave, the children need food.
Yes. So
they will have to eat.
Yeah.
If we cooked yesterday and it remained, fine. He will give them those, whatever.
Yeah.
There are dishes that are in the sink.
They are sorted.
I didn't need to tell him, you need to wash the dishes.
Yeah.
And the adjustment came here.
Yeah.
When I came home, because some days I came home, and they weren't done.
Yeah.
Those dishes weren't done. God helped me.
Now,
because I did not say anything.
Hold the thought there, because you need to go on break.
Yes.
And when we come back, you'll tell us what would happen when the dishes are not done.
Yes.
So dear viewers, please send your comments on Facebook Live and also YouTube Live, and also share the link to friends, and we'll be right back after the break.
There is no town, there is no city, there is no nation without fathers.
They went before us and set the stage of what we see in the gospel today.
It's immediately when I got saved. Wow. The Lord placed in my heart passion for souls.
They fought the battles and prepared the way.
They were told this miracle worker is here from Kenya. He has troubled so many churches in Kenya. Troubled. Be careful. Others said he's a false prophet. But the sick did not listen to that. They needed it.
What did they do that we are not doing?
We believed the word of God that it is true. I believe the word of God that by his stripes I was healed.
Do not fear, for you will not be ashamed.
The gospel then and the gospel now.
God says, do not be dismayed.
We didn't have the technical gospel that people have today. If you believe, bow your head, raise your hand, come forward. No. No. People just stood up and began to repent by themselves.
Wow.
Others crying on the floor, saying, save me, save me, save me.
Oh, Jesus.
Pressing the mantles.
Welcome back to the Morning Digest, the show that comes to you every Thursday morning, and we get to talk about issues pertaining to women, and on most occasions, almost all the time, our guests are women. And today we have Reverend Margret Kiilu, all the way from Delaware, being around on holiday and decided to give us the honor of interviewing her on Elevate TV. From our Facebook page, we have Reverend Alex watching from Mary. Thank you very much. You say, thank you for hosting Reverend Margret. Misha Kiilu, you're watching us also. The Lord bless you. And Bishop David Malombe, you're also watching. And so before we went on break, you talked about dishes that had not been washed. You're in the diaspora, and you've come back tired from work, and you expected the least that could happen is that the sink is clean. Tell us about that.
Yes, that is, now remember the background is, and the background is for somebody who was not used to doing all that.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, he found himself with those responsibilities just because of the nature of how things are.
Right.
That actually is a very interesting thing, because a lot of people, a lot of couples, some we know and some we may not know, have really fought just because of dishes.
Wow.
It starts with dishes, and then, you know, it escalates and becomes something else.
Other things, yeah.
But one of the things that God helped me to do, because it has to be God that really helped me, because you feel as a person, you come home and you feel like, really?
Yeah.
You know, we have, you know, children, you find all the toys are everywhere.
Yeah.
And this wasn't every day. But once in a while,
Yeah.
that would happen.
Yeah.
And as a human being, you can feel like, really?
Yeah. This is, the least you could do is,
Yes.
at least let me find an organized house. Even
Exactly.
if not perfect, you know,
Yes.
things like that.
I don't remember any time, and
Yeah.
that must be God,
Yeah.
that I asked my husband, why didn't you wash the dishes?
Wow. Wow.
I more so looked at what he had done
Wow.
and appreciated what
Yes.
had been done.
I think that's a powerful piece of advice.
Yes.
Focusing on the positive as opposed to the negative.
Because the children are there, they have eaten, they have drunk, they are full, they are probably asleep.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
They didn't burn themselves
They didn't
with some
burn
boiling
themselves.
water.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
is a lot.
Yeah.
And I learned that as I focused on what is positive, you know, somewhere along the line later on,
Yeah.
you know, we would probably we would just talk, and you know, I could bring the issue of dishes. You
Yeah.
know, I wish you can help
Yeah.
with this.
In a wise
And
way.
I would find that slowly but surely, because this is a man that had never even changed a diaper
Wow.
before we went to the States.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we have a baby, and
Yeah.
another one who
Yeah.
probably is being potty trained.
Yeah.
That wasn't easy.
Okay.
And a lot of women, by not being patient
Yeah.
with their spouses, by just feeling like we are here, so I'm doing it, you can do it too.
And you ain't telling me nothing.
And you ain't
because
telling me
you're not
nothing.
in Kenya.
Because I also went to work just like you do. And
Oh
maybe
my
I'm even
goodness.
earning more than you are.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have broken their homes.
And is that why probably, maybe that explains why the statistics of divorce in the diaspora, according to the, you know, research that has been done, is sort of on a higher trend as opposed to back home?
It could be one of, but there are also many other
There are many
reasons.
other factors.
America in itself is, I don't want to say anti-marriage, but it doesn't, the place for marriage in a good, healthy marriage is almost at the bottom
All right.
of the list.
Okay.
So if people's priorities aren't aligned properly,
Yeah.
they might find that marriage is just there at the bottom. And of course, if you don't work it up,
Yeah.
if you don't put work into
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it doesn't just happen.
And I like that comment because it means regardless of your color, your marriage, it's not about color, because I've seen couples, white couples, African American couples, Hispanics, all, they've been married like 49 years, and you hear someone say, this is my one and only, the one I married when I was a young person. And we've been together. So I think it's not an issue of color that makes your marriage not work.
Yeah.
There are many other factors, like you said.
There are very many other factors.
Yeah.
There are very many couples.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, the good is never emphasized.
Yeah.
It is never
Amplified. Yeah.
The wrong, the bad is always more amplified than the
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But there are very many couples, white, like you said, all colors,
Yeah.
that are doing very well.
All right.
But just like any marriage anywhere in the world, you work it. The only thing is that in the US, especially for us immigrants,
Yeah.
the challenges, and especially the settling challenges,
Yeah.
are real.
They are real.
They are real. You find everything you knew
Yeah.
is like,
It's like
you don't
it's
know
totally
anymore.
overturned.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to accept to readjust, and you know, just adjust your priorities, adjust just the way you do things.
Yeah, yeah.
And that cannot be done by one party.
It has
to be done by both parties, both husband and wife. And if
Okay.
there's no that unity to sit down and look and see what is working, what is not working,
Yeah.
it won't work.
And then again, I'm seeing another aspect that may sound hilarious, but actually it could be, it has a big portion of truth. It's possible that people have landed in the US or Europe or wherever, and this one person was looking for this one opportunity.
Yes.
To part ways, and here there's a place where
one.
you can easily survive without, you know. So I think for some, it's an opportunity that has come.
That has
and
just opened itself.
Yeah, and you're like...
And more so, a lot of other people is the schedules. The schedules in America are like something. When we were here in Kenya, and even now, you know, most of the time,
Yeah.
you go home, you go to work early in the morning, but you know definitely in the evening you will come back home.
Yeah.
So your husband goes, they will come back home. So even if nothing else, even if no other time, at least you know in the evening, you will be together.
Yeah.
In America, it is a 24-hour kind of economy. The shift work is more than anything else.
So you walk in, he walks out.
So you walk in, he walks out. We did that. You know, every person that I've been in the US who attest, you've done that, been there, done that.
Yeah.
You know, the question is, are you deliberate in creating time to be together? Because if you're not deliberate, you will become strangers.
And that
is what happens to many couples. They become strangers.
Yeah.
And then they find themselves more attached to the people you're working with because you're spending
more
40
time.
hours plus overtime, which can be another 40 hours because work is unlimited.
Yeah.
So if you're spending, you know, and if you're spending 80 hours in a week at work, what will make you not get attachment more to the people that you're working with than your husband, who you never see?
And to you, if you come back to an environment where you're being unappreciated, and then at the place of work, you're being so appreciated.
Oh, yes.
As a human being, you might likely gravitate.
Exactly.
Now, tell us about the first time you came back to the country after you've gotten used, you've adjusted, maybe gone to school, started working, and one day you planned a trip to come back. How many years was it after?
Actually, we didn't take long. About 2 years after we had gone, 2, maybe 3 years,
All right.
or less, our mother passed away. My mother-in-law passed away.
Yeah.
So we came back. I think it was actually 2 years.
Okay.
We came back. That was the first time we came back.
Or because you had come for bereavement purposes.
We came for bereavement purposes.
I'm talking about the deliberate trip you made just to come back home as a family.
The deliberate
The
trip
entire family.
with our children
Yes.
actually wasn't until, oh my goodness, it was how many years? Many years.
7, thereabout 8?
Thereabout, almost 10 actually.
Okay, wow.
With our children.
Exactly.
We would come for ministry and for other things.
Yeah.
But with our children, the whole
Family.
group, the 5 of us as a family, we came after
took
10
a while.
years. 10 years,
So
actually.
what was your experience coming back home? Because when you had come for bereavement, there is a way people will be careful because you lost your parent.
Yes.
So atuna story mob. But now you've come back home and everybody is excited. They want to meet you. Was there an experience you'd say, based on now you coming, having been away for so long, was not comfortable for you?
The first thing is that just like when we went to the US, there was culture shock.
Yeah.
When we came back, actually, even you know, probably after 5 years or so, there was just that aspect of culture shock.
Yeah.
You come back and you find a lot of things have changed. When we came with our children, obviously, we are kind of like reintroducing them to Kenya.
They don't speak Swahili.
They don't speak Swahili.
Speak Kikuyu,
they don't even
Kamba.
understand it. We've tried now. At least now they can. Faith, our daughter, has never forgotten Swahili. She can still speak Swahili. Joel is like everything was just got wiped, and he could not even understand. Our last born, George, who was only 3 months when we went, we actually realized the interesting thing. Let me share this. This is fun. This is hilarious. We realized that he had never actually seen a live chicken all his life. And we didn't even think, you know, those are things that you don't even think about.
Exactly.
Chicken is everywhere. You
Kawaida.
eat chicken everywhere.
It's obvious.
But he had never seen a live chicken. When we came back, he was chasing chickens everywhere.
Oh my Lord.
He was so excited about just catching a chicken. And so that was interesting. We'd never thought about it. That would be something that he had never experienced. So just to answer your question, there was a lot of obviously, you come with your children, they haven't seen your family, have not seen them for many years, and everybody wants to meet them, and you realize you only have a very limited time.
True.
So that was one of the disappointing factors in that we were not able to see everybody as we would have wanted. We were not able to go everywhere that we would have wanted to. So those are some of the things. And of course, infrastructure-wise,
Yes.
in Kenya,
Oh.
a lot has changed.
Yeah, positively,
When we
right?
came back, positively,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
When we came back, I remember at one time, everything had been, the M-Pesa thing. Before we went, there was no M-Pesa and all that.
Yes.
So we come back and everybody's talking about M-Pesa.
M-Pesa.
And we're like, what is that? How do you
M-Pesa.
even go through? How do
Wow.
you even pay?
Yeah.
How do you even get
Yes.
Safaricom? What is
Yeah.
all this? And that was, actually up to today,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten very good
With
as far
M-Pesa.
as transacting business. I'm
Whoa.
getting better, but
Believe you me, today we are more of a cashless society.
Yes.
Yeah, everywhere, even mama burgers nowadays.
I have
They
learned
have,
the
this
hard way.
M-Pesa thing. So I'll ask you a more candid question. Many times the perceptions of the local people, allow me to use that, is that anyone that's coming from diaspora is loaded. So even from a Christian point of view,
yeah.
it's sometimes hard for people even to be a blessing to you because the assumption is you've come with a lot of money.
Yeah.
After all, you live in a dollar economy. I mean, how do you deal with that?
We've dealt with it by just being ourselves. Every time we come, we don't come wearing that air like
Yes.
here we come
Yes.
with everything.
Ready or not.
Ready or not, no.
Wow.
We are just the simple us.
Yes.
And yes, there are expectations, but one thing we learned at a very early time from being there is that we are not Jireh. we always say that as a joke with my husband.
Yeah.
We are not Jireh, Jehovah Jireh, the provider.
Yeah.
It is him,
It's him.
not us.
Yeah.
He can use us,
Yeah.
but he is a provider.
provider.
Because sometimes there's that feeling of feeling like you really want to meet everybody's need. And they come and the needs are there. Your family, your community, people have needs that they look at you like you're coming from, I heard you call it Maju.
Yes.
You're coming from Maju.
Yeah.
So you have to be loaded. So we just, what we are able to do, we do.
Yeah.
What we're not able to do, we don't.
Yeah.
And we don't strain.
Right.
We don't try to be something else that we are
Right.
not.
And-
So we frustrate people's expectations.
Yeah, yeah.
Because maybe their expectation is that we will be able to do some things, but we only do what we are able to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like that perception because I heard someone say that a lizard in Kenya will still be a lizard in the US or an alligator, depending on which one you're using. Meaning, if the Lord cannot bless you, if you cannot get strategies to prosper,
Yes.
either divinely or through hard work
Yes.
or God opening doors for you, even if you go to the US, you will barely make ends meet.
Oh, yes.
Because you're not a transformed person.
That is true. There is mind change. If you don't have that mind, let me give you, for example, people go to the US even today, and we are saying US, but pretty much we're talking about diaspora.
Yeah, diaspora.
I can only talk about US because that's where we've been.
Yes.
People go to the US and they settle. They get their first job, they do the conversion, they see they are making a lot of money, they are able to afford everything because you can do credit. And so they get this big house, this big car, everything, the Kenyan style, of making it.
Yes.
Wamefika.
Yes.
And sooner or later they realize that they have to do 3 jobs. You've heard people talking about 3 jobs. Working people work 3 jobs. Let me say this, my friend Anne. By the grace of God, we made a choice at that early age. First of all, because our children were young. And we chose what was good, what was right. We chose to do 1 job. And we realized that 1 job, my 1 job, his 1 job, can be enough
To sustain you.
to sustain us so that
Wow.
we can have our children,
Yeah.
so that we can bring up our children.
Yeah.
And even now that they are, almost, they are grown, we still don't overwork ourselves.
All right.
You don't have to overwork yourself because you're in the US.
Yeah.
So, but then we have done things by the grace of God that has helped us move from one step to another.
Yeah.
For example, I've been in school most of my life in the US.
But also working at the same
And
time.
working at the same time.
Yeah.
That has helped me to be able to, I don't have to do 2-3 jobs. I can still do 1 job and still make a little bit, a decent
Yeah.
you know, living.
Yeah.
So improving yourself, just like you said, you can be here, you can be in the US, you can be anywhere. If your mindset is messed up, it doesn't, that mentality, if it is not transformed, there's nothing, it's not going to help.
There will, in other words, there's no magic for you to overnight become a millionaire.
Oh no.
Just because you've landed in the US.
Actually, you go back to ground zero.
Yeah, yeah.
You the lowest you can.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure most people, even the viewers, have had some of the jobs, and by the way, those jobs are very good.
Yeah.
It's
an attitude.
I had people. I
change.
usually hear people talking about that, and I'm like, these people have no idea.
Yeah.
They do not understand.
Yeah.
So you go to the very bottom.
Yeah.
People who are professionals, they were doing the big things there. For you to be able to make it in America, you have to accept to first go down and then you come up.
And
now there are people who go down and they stay
never
there.
come up.
They never come up.
And the beauty of the USA and the diaspora generally, it's almost an equal opportunity environment.
Yes.
I see people with the, I don't want to call them weird gifts, but something that you'd not expect someone to actually break through in life.
Yes.
But because of the way the environment is, that person actually breaks through in their field, because we are all called to very different fields. So I think the aspect of an equal environment means if today I begin as a janitor, I don't have to end up there.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that there are people who begin there and then they get stuck.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's no limit. Even the sky is not the limit.
Yeah.
There's no limit. And you can be anything that you want to be.
Yeah.
Surrounding yourself with the right people is a key thing. Like I said earlier, where you land in America
Determines a lot. Yeah.
The kind of people that you associate with when you get there, it will make you or break you.
Or break you,
Yes.
true.
So
because people have been deported. Someone goes to the US, they have papers, by the way.
Yes.
Their status is okay. But a few months you see them back and you're like, when did you come back? But they don't want to tell you what they did when they went on that side.
Yes.
And because there it's a serious, the law is the law.
The law is
really,
the law.
really.
You don't
So
mess
the
up.
next thing you realize you're on a plane heading back to the country.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about institutional racism. Because anywhere you go, even in Africa, there's racism. But now you, having lived on the other side as an African, have you ever experienced institutionalized racism?
Oh, yes. If anybody says that they haven't experienced,
They'll be lying.
It's just like every place has its own, in US and those countries, it's racism. You come here, you find tribalism.
Yes.
It takes different names, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So in the US, they try very much, like in the paperwork and all that, you will see no discrimination, no, bias of race and gender and all that good stuff that is good on the paper. But really, when you get down to
on a day-to-day
basis, you will find somebody. Let me give you an example. Like I said, I am a medical professional.
Yes.
Somebody comes and I'm just seeing them, checking them up, and I have seen this, and I think as we were talking earlier, or you asked me something that I can't forget.
Yeah.
I come in the room, to assess that person.
Yeah.
I'm the provider.
Yeah.
And it's like they're still waiting.
Yes.
For the doctor to come.
Yeah.
And some of them will actually ask you, where's my doctor?
Really?
And I have had to tell somebody, you're looking at them. You're looking
awesome.
You're looking at
Not
her.
really awesome, by the way. I'm just finding this
see
funny. Anyway.
The facial expression is like, really, I'm going to be treated by you.
Wow.
They may not say it, but you can see it.
The non-verbal.
And it is so loud. Yes. And with time, you learn to take those moments and actually, not in a prideful way, but in a grateful way.
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
I have learned to take those moments and not be angry about them,
Yeah.
but take them as a grateful way of just looking straight to that patient and just letting them know I am the one
You are
that is
the
going
doctor.
to prescribe their medication.
And you have what it takes.
And I wasn't given it in the
Yes.
backyard there. I
Yeah.
actually went to school for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, and I don't say those words exactly. But when you look at somebody's face who is a racist,
Yes.
when you look at their face, you can tell
Yeah.
they are not satisfied, but
Yeah.
they have no choice. And I
Wow.
take those opportunities to tell God, thank you, Jesus. I am
Amen.
here.
Amen.
And it is your grace.
And you brought me this far.
And you brought me this far.
And I think being racist is a form of really, really low level of ignorance, because when anyone knows that we are all created in God's image, regardless of their color, they will never ever look down on someone because of their color.
Yes.
So I think I'm glad that you learned to put your foot on the ground and say, this is who I am.
You actually have to. One other thing that I have learned to
Yeah.
put my foot on the ground,
Yeah.
Other people will always try to put you down based on your accent, like I said.
Yeah.
So somebody will tell you, oh, where are you from? You have an accent. And usually my response is, oh, you too.
We all
actually.
have
You
accents.
too, where do you come from? let's see,
I
let's.
like your positive way
So,
of...
and then they will realize that,
Okay.
and then of course I'll share. I proudly share
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I am actually from Kenya.
Yeah.
And because that's nothing to be ashamed about.
Sure,
Yeah,
definitely.
so-
Wow, our time is really gone, but I have to ask you this one. Your piece of advice to Kenyans, and especially young Kenyans, like their life is on hold, all they're thinking about is diaspora. And maybe one day the Lord will give them that opportunity to go.
Yeah.
But before they go, Kenya is still a good place to,
Yes.
make a living and, begin your life as you look forward. Yeah, piece of advice.
What I would want to say is, if you are not busy and engaging yourself now, diaspora needs very, very active people, very hardworking people. You cannot survive in America if you are lazy.
Wow.
If you do survive, if you're lazy, you are surviving in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because every place has ways that are not good.
Survival
So you can survive on bad ways.
Yeah.
But if you really want to survive in a good way, you have to be very hardworking. So if you're here and that's your dream, it's a good dream. America is a good land. It still is a good land.
Yeah.
But make yourself productive, make yourself active, do
Wherever
whatever
you are.
you have to do
Yeah.
where you are
Yeah.
as you wait for God to take you to the next place that you want to be.
Amen.
Because without that,
Amen.
if you think that if you wake up today in America, life will be like all glorious.
It will not
First
happen.
of all, you hit rock bottom
And then you
before
rise
you
up.
can rise up.
All right.
So if you don't deal with those things here and now, it will be very difficult
be
to survive.
disappointed.
You'll be disappointed.
Do you plan on coming back? When do you plan on coming back? Not do you, I think it's when.
That is a good question. By the grace of God, we are Kenyans by birth
Yeah.
and Kenyan citizens still.
Yeah.
And we are US citizens.
Yeah.
So it is a blessing to have two citizenships.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a blessing to belong to two different places.
Yeah.
So Kenya is our motherland.
All right.
America is our land that received us.
Yes.
So we look forward.
And
I
through
cannot
you,
give
many have also been able to.
Yes, I've actually hosted very many people in
Yeah,
my house.
yeah.
Time fails us to go there.
Yeah.
But really, we look forward for a time when we can be able to spend maybe half of the year or the winters. We are out of US. We
Yeah.
are here
Yeah.
enjoying the good weather.
Yeah.
And maybe, we are also able to be there.
All right.
And still have a good time with
Wow.
other people there.
Thank you so much, Reverend Margaret. As we wind up the show, have you ever been asked an awkward question that really annoyed you and you're like, really, especially because of your descent, your African descent?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Like, are there libraries in your country?
No,
Where did you
whether-
learn English? Those kind of questions.
Of course, where I learned English is a everyday question.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
always an everyday question.
Yeah.
Because, and then you have to explain, Kenya
Yeah.
was a British colony, our education system is in English, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But What I find as ignorant is when somebody asks you, oh, did you used to wear clothes?
Oh my God.
You know.
And you're like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, you are very smart. Why are you wearing clothes back in your country?
Oh my.
You know, that is ignorance. And that actually touches a nerve in me.
It's true.
And I want to give them a piece of my mind, but the grace of God,
the grace of God holds you back. Wow, time fails us. I am so grateful, Reverend Margret, for you coming. And really, it's an honor. Wish we had more time. But because we don't have more time, we will wrap it up. Thank you so much, my dear viewers, for watching. And I believe you have been following. Thank you, Christine Muse, and to the rest that have been watching and giving us great comments on the show. We do appreciate. May the Lord bless you. Until we meet again on Thursday, same time, same place, may the Lord bless you.